And before we start, can I just ask of the members of the public who's here because of sand mining? Could you put your hands up? Is that everyone? Thank you. Okay, who's here because of sand mining? Put your hand up and yell out. Yeah! Thank you.
I might pay if you do your presentation there.
I think we will. Yeah.
Stand here? Yeah, okay.
We've combined the two groups together to make this more efficient. So we're assuming we've got 10 minutes of talking and 10 minutes of questions. Is that okay?
No.
Yes.
5 minutes.
Yep.
Okay. Morena, good morning. My name is Pamela Tindall. I'm a Langs Beach local. I'm here today speaking with other local residents. I'm going to start off by showing some footage that was taken right outside here, the smell that Rick referenced. So this footage was taken last week. It shows sea creatures, mollusks washed up from Green Bay after the storm. What I think is really interesting about this is that it is not a monoculture, it is not dead shells. This is a really rich species, many go placed from. Okay, this one, I've left some details at the end of the slide. Not a lot of people around here know, but there's a 6-episode series, the David Attenborough BBC series that's available at the moment on TVNZ. There's a 15-minute sex segment that is filmed in Green Bay. That's the only New Zealand content in the whole series. So the episode features false killer whales and bottlenose dolphins that are cooperating. They are hunting together. It's a world first that this has ever been filmed. And the habitat here in Green Bay is very important for these special animals. So we don't have time to obviously watch that footage today with our time limit, but the details are all there, and I would really encourage you to watch that just as a reminder. The dolphins just gives you some more insight into what's going on here in Green Bay. I'll hand over to Mark.
Okay, so one of the things we're looking at is this fast track legislation. Someone got something they can turn off. One of the interesting things is this fast track is all based on economic growth. That's the whole point of fast track. It says that it's got to be regional and or national growth that people are producing. By the way, when I say McCullum's, I don't mean Mr. McCullum, I mean the company, McCullum Brothers Limited, have put in a preliminary economic report which we've analysed, and the analysis shows there is absolutely no benefit to Auckland, to Northland in terms of the economy. Their ship sails up at Grabsand, it goes back at night. Sails up Grabsand, goes back at night. There is no jobs in that here. In fact, what will happen is all the businesses around here, including these cafes, will gradually die as the sand disappears, and we get more of the seaweed because the effect of sand dredging is to put silt onto the grasses. They'll wash up on the floor, on the sea front here. And if you like the smell today, get used to it because it's going to happen over and over again if we have sand mining here. McCullum's also claimed that if they don't do the sand mining here, Auckland's going to run out of sand. Becca Carter have done a report on the number of sand suppliers in Auckland. There is a surplus of sand in Auckland without McCullum Brothers. There's people making sand and they're getting it from on-land sources as well. And one of the iwis just down the road has also got a large resource they've got a fast track application in for, which is on land and far more environmentally friendly. The only economic benefit in this is to McCullum Brothers. That's the only organisation or group that benefits from this proposal. For those old enough, they know what happened to Omaha after sand mining when all the infrastructure disappeared. They then moved on to Bream Bay, onto Parkery, and you will have followed the court cases where they've applied for a consent and been denied. I'll talk about that in a minute. In Bream Bay, we've got what's called a closed system. There is no sand almost comes in from the ocean into Bream Bay. The sand in here just goes round and round and round. Auckland University have done a research on how the beach has changed over the last 80 years. There has been absolutely no change in the beach over 80 years, so it's what you call a balanced system. The sand is enough to be distributed around this area and nowhere else. And there's about 20,000 cubic metres that flows around the beaches every year. When you take 9 million cubic metres out of the middle there, that 20,000 is going to disappear because it's going to feed the hole. For those that have got grandkids, you dig a hole on the beach, 5 minutes later the waves come along and wash it out and fill it up. Where does the sand come from? All around. So the only place it can grab sand from is around these beaches. So that's why we're going to have this smell. The 9 million cubic metres is 450 times the amount of sand flowing around. It's 6 times the size of the Mangawhai spit, the whole of the spit, which, by the way, is disappearing, and the likely cause is from the Parkery sand mining. The other thing is the fast track is to promote good actors in the industries that they are promoting. The McCullums have applied for a consent renewal at Parkery. The Auckland Council turned them down. They then applied for they appealed to the Environment Court. The Environment Court's turned them down. And the Environment Court at the end of the court case said they have grave concerns about the conduct and information that McCullum Brothers presented to the court, some of which was found to be completely false, some misleading and some miscalculated. And so they are a company that doesn't really stick with the rules. They have had numerous breaches of consent at Parkery. The Auckland Council has never, ever taken action against them except in the last few months. They have dug a trench out there so deep, it's twice the size they're meant to do, and again, Auckland Council's done nothing about it. We are trying to get Auckland Council to prosecute them on that now. The worst thing they do is after storms, they dredge as fast as they can, because when the sand goes out from the beach, from the storm, it's very easy to suck up in the vacuum cleaner type thing. So they just suck it up. And when it's time for the sand to wash back again, it's all gone. It's gone to Auckland. And some of it's been put in Mission Bay, by the way. So they've used that at Parkery to make Mission Bay look better. The other thing is that we believe, from information we've seen, that they could well be dredging in Northland now, because when they turn their dredge around, which is a big ship, it goes through a big arc that goes into Northland, and we're wondering why Northland Regional Council hasn't checked it out. And I've asked a question. I haven't got an answer yet, but I would like to know. Thank you. Just to show you on time. Now, what I'd like to do is that there's a community effort out there to get money for these. I've paid for these, but I'd really like the councillors to have one. Yeah. And I've done that because I know councillors, and this is true, I've dealt for 30 years with council. Councillors are underpaid for the work that the community expects them to do, so I don't expect you to pay me back. Okay? Thank you very much.
councillors, please.
Just one question. You said there's an excess of sand on hand at the moment supplying Auckland. Is that because of possible over mining at Pakari? Is that what, have you got any suggestion towards that or not?
No,
And if they complied with their consent, would there be enough sand for Auckland?
They don't need the sand from Parkery to supply Auckland, for Auckland to not run out of sand. There's a surplus from other places where they get sand from.
That too?
Tēnā tātou katoa. I thought I would just stand first of all to mihi, kia koutou, te mokai, o tatu hara kiki, kupu whakawatia, o ngā reo whakawhikai, I tēnei ata o tēnei hui, o tātou katoa I tēnei rā. I'd also like to mihi to all of the locals and everyone that has come out today to express your opinions on this very important matter to us. And I fully support your ability to do this. I think this actually makes more of a fun and interesting and, you know, more of a all of us together kind of situation, because so often we don't have any public coming into our council meetings, and yet we make decisions that have direct impacts on your daily lives. So I appreciate your time and I appreciate your hospitality. And I also appreciate all the work that you've done through this community collaboration to come together. You have legitimate concerns around the ecological impacts, around the business impacts. These are my personal opinion as Deputy Lucky elected member. So I just wanted to mihi to you and let you all know that this is, I commend your efforts, and unfortunately, you should know that we didn't support the fast tracking regime. As a regional council, we way of working, because, you know, essentially it takes local decision making out of the equation. It even takes for regional plans that we all wrote together, the Northern Regional Plan and the rules around the environment. It throws that out the window. And now we have a meter panel that make the decisions, not us, unfortunately. We've become a commenting, you know, authority, merely. But we will use our voices. We will continue to use our voices to represent you in the best way that we can as councillors. So I just wanted to stand and mihi to you. Thank you for all of the information. I'm learning. You know more about your area than I do. Patu Harakiki knows more about this area than I do, and I really appreciate your efforts today. Nā reira. Huri no te whare, tēnā koutou katoa.
I just want to say that not all the hapu in Terenga Praua have been invited to any discussions on this topic. I stand on behalf of Judy Leroy. I am Patu Harakeke, but I'm standing here on behalf of Judy Leroy and Te Parapai. My Te Parapai, which belongs to the same Te Parapai that may be sitting at this table. Hona Edwards is my name. Maungaro Mamorai Porotiti. I come all the way out here just because I found out about this hui last night. I would ask the council to invite all the hapu that have mana over this harbour to be alongside community to add our voice. Kia ora.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Look, I'd like to, first of all, apologise for my phone going off. Can't get karakia. Somebody calling about sand mining. Similar concerns. Look, I'd just like to point out that, for those who don't know, our council submitted, in opposition to the fast track legislation, measures in almost all cases, but particularly sand mining in Green Bay, or sand mining in Northland. So we are, to a great degree, you're preaching to the choir. That's fine. The fight's not going to be easy. Obviously, our major argument is with the government, because as Tui has quite rightly pointed out, we've been sidelined. Your elected representatives and the RMA that we are here to administer have completely sidelined. So it's a centralised political decision made in haste, and I think everyone will find out that we can repent in leisure, because the outcomes will be very bad for Green Bay. Thank you.
Sorry, Andy.
No, you're right.
Look, thanks to Jack for your support for the community. It's been awesome. Now, I've attended a couple of meetings, and I would like Malcolm just to outline what you're actually doing next in this battle, all right? Because you've had some meetings, you've made some decisions, and I'd like, for the benefit of the council here, to know what you're doing next, okay? And where the council can support you on that.
Thank you, Rick. Firstly, we have had a lot of locals who have amazing expertise, and I guess some of the ones that we have is, could Dr. Spanu please stand up? If you look at our video, which will be on our website in the next few days, she's one of the stars of it. She is a marine geomorphologist. She's a doctor of marine geomorphology. She happens to be from Italy. Her husband, who's somewhere around Ben, isn't tied up with the America's Cup and Sail GT, so they go all over the world, but they're here for a while, and she has been contributing greatly. Also, we have Andre Labonte. I don't know if Robin's here as well, but Andre is a coastal expert, 50 years experience. He's been involved in all parkery stuff, including the Mongolai spit and things like that. Who have I forgotten? There's a whole lot of others here, but the thing we are offering to the council is we've had a fighting fund started on Saturday night at a reception that Rick was at. We've got a very large target for funding. It's to fund experts, lawyers, PR and the whole lot. And we are happy to contribute to the council officers in any way we can to support them. The real key we're looking for now is to analyse the McCullum reports as they come in. We've got a whole lot of experts and big time lawyers, and they're all waiting to go. And so that's our focus, but we are absolutely certain we've got a case that they won't be able to stand up. What we're looking for from NRC, and what we'd be even more delighted to help if by fluke it gets through, we have a whole lot of experts all in our organisation that can help your staff understand about consent monitoring for sand mining, because they probably haven't had a lot of experience with this. We've got people here that have been doing it for 50 years. They can help you monitor, because one of the things that McCullum does is completely ignore the consent in a whole lot of ways. He's had a whole years and years and years of that. We want you, as the consent monitoring agency, absolutely make sure if they get it through, they stick to their consent to the letter of the law. And the other thing we'd like to do is help you monitor the effects that may not be covered under the consent, but the effects that might happen around the place that we can say, look, there's a problem coming here, you need to step in. So if we can help in any way with that, we'd be absolutely delighted. We are teamed up, all the community groups around Green Bay are all teamed up together, and we are communicating, and Brenda's going to talk very soon with her petitioner. We are strongly aligning with Patu Harakiki. We think they are the key ones around here. And we're also wondering, as I understand it, Northern Regional Council is the one other body that has a right to submit in terms of the application. And I'd just like some assurance from Northern Regional Council that when the McCullum consent application is put in, that Northern Regional Council will inspect it properly and speak to the panel about what their real thoughts are, because you're the only other ones.
I need to place it down, but you can be assured that we've put funding to support that idea. So, look, your time is up. You don't want to let you finish off. Now we're going to do another presentation, but then afterwards we'll have 15 minutes for a coffee break, and then you can socialise with the councillors. We've got to be, I have to say, time with a big agenda to get through. So,
Actual question.
Oh.
I'm not going to say.
okay.
All right, I'll be quick. Thanks everybody. It's really awesome to see the community turning up today. One question, can you provide us with your presentation so we can have another look at it? And the second one was that you mentioned something that you were hoping the NRC would be doing. Can you just clarify what that was? Was it around, and during your talk, you mentioned something?
I said what during
You mentioned something that you were thinking you'd like NRC to be coming out to.
I would like NRC to check where the McCullums have been sand mining in Northland, where they turn it around. Because there's certainly a lot of stories coming out of there. And they're allowed to turn around, but they're not allowed to mine all that.
So let's catch up a cup of tea. And we'll just socialise that. So now we've got
Brenda.
Brenda, is it?
Yep.
Sorry. Oh, hold on.
Instead of Melissa Arsenal.
Oh, sorry, because it's starting to do combining the two.
Yeah, sorry, is it done?
No.
This is a petition.
Well, I've given you 10 minutes because you said you were doing 2 presentations.
Yeah, well,
No.
this is one.
This is a completely different one.
Yeah, you've got to accept this petition.
Will.
Kia ora koutou, Chair and councillors, whenua. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Brenda Lundberg and I'm here today on behalf of concerned communities of Green Bay against sand mining and the more than 15,000 people who have signed 2 active petitions opposing sand mining in Green Bay. Petitions hosted on Action Station and by the Endangered Species Foundation. I'm here to formally present these petitions to you. These petitions call on local councils, including Northland Regional Council, to formally oppose the McCullum Brothers application to extract close to 8.5 million cubic metres of sand from Green Bay over the next 35 years. 35 years. This is not a minor activity. It is large-scale industrial seabed extraction in a sensitive and culturally significant marine environment. The petitions cite the lack of genuine consultation with the community in mana whenua, the threats to critically endangered species like the taraiti, the New Zealand fairy tern, the risk to local surf breaks, scallop beds and sensitive marine habitats, the broader concern that this project runs counter to any modern definition of sustainability, cultural opposition from mana whenua, including Patu Harakeke and Ngāti Wai. The strength of opposition continues to grow. Thousands joined a peaceful beach protest in Ruakaka, a gathering that made national headlines. Local fishers and community leaders launched a boat protest in Green Bay, sending a clear message that this is our moana and it will be defended. A powerful formal claim has been lodged with the Waitangi Tribunal by Mere Kepa on behalf of Te Parawhau and Te Patu Harakeke o Te Parawhau. It challenges the inclusion of this project in the fast-track approvals bill and the failure to uphold Te Tiriti o Waitangi. That claim outlines how this proposal threatens not only the environment, but the tino rangatiratanga and kaitiakitanga of local hapu. The moana, as they say, is not just a resource, it is a taonga. And we are asking this council to take a clear stand, to oppose this project in both principle and in practice wherever possible, to promote and encourage the use of existing and new sand alternatives. As we've said, it's not necessary to mine, and to ensure that independent assessments are provided to decision-making panels. To publicly acknowledge the risks to Green Bay's ecosystems, marine habitats, surf breaks, scallop beds and species such as the critically endangered taraiti. To support mana whenua in their efforts to protect their rohe moana. And to uphold the intent of Te Tiriti o Waitangi by ensuring meaningful consultation, which to date has been severely lacking. It's also worth remembering that this is not just a local issue. All over the world, sand mining has been linked to coastal erosion, fish stock collapse, mangrove destruction, and even the loss of entire communities. The UN has declared sand the most extracted and least regulated mineral on Earth. New Zealand is not immune. We can't keep doing this and pretending that it doesn't come with a cost. There are alternatives. It has been demonstrated again and again that mining sand from the ocean is not necessary to support ongoing construction and concrete for the developers of Auckland. There are other options. And so in closing, the voices in these petitions are not fringe. They are reasonable, informed and growing louder by the day. And we're asking you, as stewards of this region, to protect what is precious and irreplaceable and to represent the interests of our region at any hearings or consultations with the EPA or fast-track decision-making panels wherever possible and pursue appeals if necessary. This council has the opportunity to demonstrate leadership foresight and respect for the environment, for tangata whenua and for the people of Northland. Bream Bay is not just sand, it is not a quarry, it is home. It is habitat, it is heritage, it is a living system and it is not for sale. It deserves your protection. Please stand with us. Thank you. Ngā mihi nui ki a koutou.
Thank you, Maureen. Just open it up to the councillors, please, Mr. Shaw. Any questions? Okay, thank you, Maureen. We'll finish off. We've got Maureen.